Hello lovely people. Another lovely day outside today. We had a few weeks, so we had like literally rain non-stop few weeks. So my sunflowers are enjoying it. This one is, look at the size of this one. Oh my God. Yeah, my daughter asked me to plant some sunflowers. So there we go. So this video, you're not going to learn anything today. This video is going to be about me. So if you're following my channel, I got all of these goodies from Frank. Again, thank you Frank from HEPAKing. And if you know that I have a fully installed, not pretty, but installed three-way system in my car with SB Acoustic Satori mid-ranges, SB29 tweeters, and I have my Peerless mid-bass here. However, now, since I have all of these things, the system is gonna go through a whole rebuild. In 2 weeks, there's Emma coming, yeah? So for Emma, I have everything prepared. I have a tune done for Emma. I have a separate video for that. The only differences that I did from my last tune to this tune is I increased the bottom end and increased a bit in the mid-range area just to make it a bit more flat. And the only purpose that I'm going to Emma is just to see, is there going to be an improvement in the score sheet that I have from the previous round one. Now, all of these, what I'm going to do with all of this. So as you can see, I have a DSP, I have amplifiers, and I have 2 sets of three-way speakers, and I have these little mids. Now, these amplifiers, I'm extremely happy about them because from when I started to build my system, I always wanted to have matching amplifiers. However, I couldn't afford it, and these were kind of brand newish, the X series amps, and they were not available on the second-hand market. And now I hunted them down from various corners of the UK, and I have all 3 in the whole lineup. So this in the middle, the one that I had, is the 4-channel A70F, which does 120 watts into 4 ohms and 175 watts into 2 ohms. Now this amp now is running my mid-range and tweeters because it's the best quality that I have compared to this one. So this is the old X series amplifier, X Power, but it's an old series before that one. So now this is the best that I have. And now these two, so this one is A9TV, which is a 5-channel amplifier. So it's rated as 75 watts into 4 ohms and 300 watts into 4 ohms on the sub-channel. So my plan is, this small amplifier, I'm going to be using him for tweeters and mid-range. And the sub-channel, the 300 watts, is going to be for my center sub, the center console channel sub, which is rated 350 watts. But knowing how Alpine rates stuff, I guarantee it's going to do more than that, because I think it's rated at 500, but in the birth sheet is like 540 or something, so a bit more. So this is going to be for tweeters, mid-range, and the front subwoofer. This one is gonna be on my mid-bass because it has a lot of power. So it's gonna be 2 channels on mid-bass, and the other 2 channels, I'm not sure yet. I might have some rear fill because I have these little 3-inch drivers. They're not the best, but for rear fill, it's gonna be perfect. And this would be a perfect location for them. I don't know if it's called a D pillar or C pillar, I don't know. So here, and that one in that corner as well. So that it would be just a perfect location for the rear fill. And now this is a monoblock for the IB sub. So this IB sub is rated as 700 watts. It's a 2 ohm sub. And this amp at 2 ohms is rated 900 watts, but is doing close to 1000 watts according to the birth sheet. And this is extremely similar power-wise to the monoblock that I have here. So this is an M1000 V-Power. It's an older model, but power-wise is kind of the same. So I know I will have 700 watts, close to 1,000, I will have a lot of headroom and I will be happy about this. Now the DSP, this is a 12-channel DSP. Yeah, so the one that I have now, Helix Pro Mark II, it's a 10-channel, and I have 4 channels for one, 4 channels for that one, that's 8, another 2 here, so that's 10. And at the moment, as the system is, I'm kind of maxed out on the active DSP channels. Now I could do some manipulation and, for example, instead of 2 channels, just have 1 and 1 spare channel for something, but we're going to use a 1 channel. So with 12 channels, I'm going to have an extra 2 channels, which I could potentially use for rear fill. Now with the speaker, so I have 2 3-way sets, the DP series and the status. And now I was debating what to do with them, which one to use, which one would be better to use, which one to keep, and that kind of stuff. And then I decided, why not to have both? So hear me out. I know it's a bit of a silly idea. It might be not even silly, but a stupid one. But why not? So look, what I have in this car, I have the door location, which is a factory, which all the cars have, and I have the kicks. So I could fit 2. Now for the tweeters, I have a pillar location and I have these. So these are the sills that I have the original OEM tweeters in, because this car came with the mid bass and a tweet on a passive, just capacitor on a passive crossover. And then I have my A pillars. And this is the dash. So in the dash now I have a big mid-range. However, I have a spare dash that I can redo and have a location for a smaller 3.5 inch. So my plan is to have 2 3-way sets in the front and control them with a relay board. I know, it might be silly, but why not? So then I have to decide which to put where, because I have the status and the DP. So which to put in the kicks and which to have in the door. And at the same time, the tweeters and the mid-range. So my plan is, since the status, if I can reach it, since the status has this aluminum face plug, yeah? And it's not connected to the cone. That means there's a gap. So with this particular speaker, I wouldn't want to have it in the kicks, because kicks, even if they're like protected with the rain guard and everything, there's still kind of a risk of potential maybe like water damage or something. So I wouldn't really want to risk a 1,000-pound set just to have them in the kick. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to have the status drivers in the doors, and the DP, if I'm going to reach it, so it is a cheaper set, and it is a sealed cone, so there's no gap, no nothing. So the DP series, I'm gonna have it in the kicks. And the best part of it, this DP looks sick. Just imagine it like this, just a magnet. It looks amazing. So I'm gonna put the DP series in the kicks and the status in the doors. Now with the tweeters, the status tweeter is very big. However, the DP is very small, and I'm not going to do it with one hand, it's falling out. Basically, you can disassemble it and you can have only this middle part without all the plastic around it. And this, I think, is going to fit in the factory location from inside. If not, I'm going to chop it off a bit from the inside, but this is going to fit here. So I will have the DP series in the kicks, in the sills, and the DP mid-range, because it looks very, very cool, I'm going to put it in the dash. So it's going to be kicks, sills, and the dash. And the status is going to be doors and A-pillars. So I'm planning to do A-pillar pods, not pods, A-pillars, proper A-pillars, with the mid-range here and the tweeter right next to it. So it's going to be A-pillars because these two drivers, they look extremely cool next to each other. So I don't want to separate them, and I'm going to put them there. They have grills. Now, the status drivers, the mid-bass as well has a grill. So what I'm planning to do with this door, I'm not going to hide it behind it. I'm going to cut a hole here, and I'm going to maybe make like a beauty panel around or something. But the idea is to have the driver protruding from the door with the factory grill that's on it. Because the DP series doesn't come with the grill. It doesn't have a grill. The grill is separate. However, that grill looks much, much nicer. So that's the plan for the mid-bass. Now, when you have the drivers in the kicks, we all know that kicks don't play high. My kicks play, especially that side, up to like 180 hertz only. So we need a mid-range that could play low as 180 or 170. Now, from all the experiments that I did, I know that the status mid-range has an FS of 160, and it's not going to play that low. However, the DP mid-range, it has an FS much lower, close to 100 hertz, and it will be able to play much lower. Plus, adding the fact that it's going to have the natural boost from the corner loading, because we know that when you put a mid-range in the corners of the dash, you have an acoustical boost at the bottom end at about like below 1000 hertz. So that is going to help with the crossover as well. And if I'm going to have the status in the doors obviously are going to play much higher. They will have cancellations, they will have problems. I'm not worried about that. But they will play higher, and I will be able to match them with the mid-range on the A-pillars at a higher frequency, maybe like 300 hertz or something like that. So that is the plan. Now, I know what you're going to say. You have this lovely, lovely driver, and you're going to put it in the door. Yes, because is it going to be a downgrade? Maybe. But the thing is, that's the thing. I want to see if it's going to be a downgrade. It might have some rattles, but again, if I'm going to pull the driver in front of the door panel and I'm going to deaden everything, I don't know. We will see. We will see. However, from all the stuff that I did, all the experimentations that I did, I kind of know what to expect from both of these drivers. Now, compared especially with the system that I have now. Fact number one, I know that I'm going to lose output. Just because you cannot compare a 5-inch mid-range with a 3.5-inch mid-range. Same with the mid-bass. The mid-bass, so they're 6.5. However, if you take the central pole out, the cone area is smaller on the mid-bass drivers. And these peerless drivers that I have, they're closer to 7-inch, not even 6.5, because I had to make a separate spacer rings that would be a slightly bigger, because they are bigger drivers, so the cone area is bigger. However, the central sub, I can play it much higher, so it's not a problem about that again. So I might lose some output, but I listen extremely, extremely loud. So for like daily listening, I think it's gonna be plenty enough. And then I'm gonna put a relay somewhere, maybe behind the dash, maybe in there, so I don't know, somewhere. And the relay is gonna switch the outputs of the amplifier from one set to the other set with a click of a button. I'm gonna put a button somewhere here maybe. The controller for the Alpine DSP is gonna go here. It is a slightly smaller controller, so it's gonna fit maybe a bit nicer. Maybe I'm gonna put it here, like, because this is like very convenient to use. I still have this. I'm gonna sell it, but I still have it. Maybe here, I don't know. We will see. And now for Emma. So Emma is coming in 2 weeks, yeah? And what I want to do is, I have that DSP, which is 12 channels. However, I have a smaller DSP that is a 6-channel DSP. And what I would like to do, again, a stupid idea, is because it's a DSP amplifier, it has only 25 watts. However, it would be so cool to put the DSP amp in here because it needs like maybe a 14 or 16 gauge power wire, so that's nothing. So have a DSP in there, run it from Bluetooth, because I did test it, it runs from Bluetooth, and have a two-way DP series for now in the doors, basically in factory locations. So I would have mid-bass and tweeter, the DP series, in factory locations with that DSP hiding in the glove box, and it would be like a combination of drivers and the DSP that is not available in the UK. Of course, it's not going to have any bass or nothing because it's going to be just a two-way with no subwoofer or anything, because everything else is going to be for competition. But I think it's just going to be cool just to have a small little unit there running this two-way and just to see how it sounds in factory locations. So I'm planning to do this before Emma in the next upcoming weeks, just because it's very easy. So this one just install there, this one just put in the door, run some wires, and I think it's going to be like maybe half a day job just to install it and have it all running, and then tune it a bit just to make it sound nice. And when I'm going to be demoing in Emma my main system, I might potentially demo this one as well, if anybody wants to hear how these DP drivers sound like. And yeah, all the work is going to begin after Emma. I'm coming back, Emma is on Sunday, I'm coming back from Emma on Sunday, and everything is going to go out. So the mid-ranges are already sold, the tweeters are sold. These ones, I'm not sure I'm going to sell them because I made a bookshelf speakers at home for them. They were in my bookshelf, so I might put them back. But basically, all the drivers are sold. I'm going to keep only the substage in the center console sub and the rear IB sub. That I'm going to keep, but everything else is going to go out. So if you're in the UK, if you want a monoblock, if you want 4-channel, very good 4-channel, just contact me. I'm gonna sell them. And with this DSP, I don't know what to do with it because I really don't want to sell it. It is an older version, but so it's a DSP with a USB audio HEC card and a controller, and I really don't want to sell it. I want to have it even if I'm not going to use it, because like, I don't know. But yeah, everything is going to go out, everything is going to go in, and everything is going to be replaced after Emma. So this, oh my God, it's almost 20 minutes. I was talking a lot. I was thinking it's going to be a 5-minute short video, but I kind of expanded on it. So if you want to see what's going to happen, subscribe to the channel and wait for some updates. If I will manage to put those DP and the smaller amplifier in there and you're going to be in Emma, feel free to ask for a demo. And yeah, this is going to be fun. I'm very, very excited. It's going to be a very cool ending to the summer with all the new system and all playing with all the tuning and everything. It's going to be so much fun. I'm extremely, extremely excited. Oh, one thing as well. It might be too soon. However, I have something coming towards me from Frank. Just a little hint. It has status in it and 11 inches. Figure it out by yourself, yeah? So cool, I think I'm gonna end it here. Thank you very much for watching, guys, and I will see you in the next one.